Hello, everybody.
Is mine working? Ooh,
Is this working? Oh, I don't know which one of us is doing it, so I'm going to step a little bit further away. How's everybody doing tonight? Good. Welcome to one night before Christmas. Yeah, it's a little bit of fun. We get to have a little fun. Christmas theme going on tonight. And with the Christmas theme, well, first of all, I'd like to introduce my lovely co-host tonight, Miss Heather Vogel. Yeah, and this has been a pretty awesome year. So, well, and it has been. It really has been. It's been a blessing because a lot of folks might not know what one night is. Because tonight we have our high schoolers that have been joining us, but we also have college students joining us tonight because you guys aren't in school right now. Nobody cheers? I was going to say, that was exciting. That's great. Some of them still are taking tests. I did talk to some of them today. But hey, what we kind of done is we mixed up crew this year for if you have to come only one night, we're going to make it one night that's kind of extra special, right? We're going to throw everything we have at it. So you're going to see, we're going to have some games, we're going to have some music, we're going to have some people sharing parts of their lives with us. We're excited for that. And Heather, tell me about your shirt, right? Well, no, we'll talk about your shirt in a second. She themed it up. She themed it up tonight. But Christmas, do you have some good jokes for us, Heather?
Yeah, I do. Okay, so, hang on. You know, I forgot them all of a sudden now that I'm on the spot.
I'm going to be the guy reading it for my
Okay, what do you call an elf wearing earmuffs? Anything you want. He can't hear you.
See, thank you, Corey. I'm going to appreciate hearing Corey's laugh all the way from up here.
Okay, the parents will like this one too. Okay, what's every parent's favorite Christmas carol?
Yeah, good
job,
good.
Guys.
All right, I got one for you. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Murray.
Murray who?
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
That's good, right? My uncle, every single time I saw my uncle at Christmas time, he'd go, Merry Christmas, every time. Every single time. All right, here's another one. One night a Viking named Rudolph the Red. Okay, that sounds like a Viking name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He was looking out the window when he went over and he said, it's going to rain. And his wife said to him, he says, well, how do you know? And he said, because Rudolph the Red knows rain, dear. That's hilarious. Someone, even, you're all wearing masks, but you're smiling. I know you're smiling at that one. That's pretty good. Do you have another one for us? Oh, is that your, that was your two? Here, all right, one more.
Yeah, that's it. You go ahead. I'm sure that.
Why do mummies like the holidays so much?
Mummies?
Mummies. Egypt.
Yeah.
They love rapping. Yeah, exactly. Hey, yeah, good, right? All right. Hey, well, welcome to one night. It is exciting to be with you tonight. We're starting off with some games, Heather. Are you excited?
Oh my gosh, yes.
Who likes games? Now we have good. We have 3 games, and so we're just going to need. So in total, we have 3 sets of 3. So that means we're going to need 9 total volunteers. I'd like for those to be different people, so don't make the same people play the same games. Will you just put up there what our first game is, so I can begin to explain a little bit what's going on? Our first game of the night is, it's beginning to smell a lot like Christmas, okay? If this game interests you, come stand at one of these tables and I'll explain what's going on. It's beginning to smell a lot like Christmas.
People might be like, oh.
I was told this is a challenge.
Is it like that diaper game that you play at those, you know, baby showers?
I've heard this is a challenging game. I need one more person. Who's challenging? I got 2 seniors. Seniors carrying it. 3 seniors are taking it. All right, so here's how this game goes. Your game involves the bags to the right, okay? So you have numbered bags on each one. Now, you can't look inside, but your goal, we're going to put a minute to win it clock on the screen, and you're going to smell the bag, what's in the bag, okay? Smell the bag. So again, it's a challenging thing. Now, the good news is if you can smell something, you don't have COVID, okay? That's the good news. Oh, did you? Well, this is good. All right, now, the other challenging part is, I've heard this is challenging, so you still might smell something, but that doesn't mean you have COVID, okay? So, this is a challenging one. There are 6 bags. Your goal is to write down what's in those 6 bags within a minute. Are you ready? Again, don't peek in the bag. You got to smell. You just got to, in the bag. All right, ready, set, here, it's going to count down for us. That's right. Click that next one. All right, turn on the computer volume for me. 3, 2, 1. we got 1, 2, 3. Let's see if they got them right. Hannah is my scorekeeper tonight to see if the card is correct. What's in bag number 1?
Oh, say it out loud.
You go ahead and say it out loud. What's that?
Oh. In bag number 1 is peppermint.
Peppermint. Did we get that right? We get that right? All right, we got that right. All right, good, good. Bag number 2. Pine or pine cone. Did we get that correct? Pine needle, pine. Pine works. Pine. Yes, like a pine, like a tree. Yeah, like a pine tree. Oh, see, that's I'm gonna have to think on that one. We're gonna have to think on that one. Evergreen. See, because I can get a cypress, I can get a fir, I can get a. I'm just going through my trees. See, this is the value of getting a live tree, friends. You get to know the different types.
Number 3 is orange.
Orange. Do we get orange? Citrus, citrus, citrus. Okay, we'll count. All right, we'll get that. We'll get that.
Number 4 is cinnamon.
Cinnamon. Ooh. Marshmallow. Oh, did we get cinnamon, Abby? Did you get cinnamon? Did you get cinnamon? Yes. All right. So far we got the lead and the lead, right? Okay.
Next one is gingerbread.
Oh, the next one was gingerbread. Popcorn. Blah. Okay. And number 6.
Number 6 is cranberry.
Anybody? You got that too? Oh, nobody got that? All right, Abby Kane is the winner. Give her a round of applause. I'll figure out a COVID-friendly prize at some point. Not yet, because that's part of our next game. Our next game is called Candy Cane Pickup. Candy Cane Pickup. I need 3 people. 3 people. All right, Austin and Max. I got a college student and a junior with me. Still haven't seen a freshman and sophomore. What's up? You can participate. Grab it, Hannah. All right, I got a senior. All right, for this one, you see a bowl and you see 12 candy canes there. You're going to pick one of those, and we were sanitized. We're good. One of those candy canes up into your mouth. All right? And then your goal is going to be to use that one candy cane in your mouth to pick up the rest of the candy canes and put them into the bowl. Okay? Don't arrange them. Don't arrange them. Just pick one. All right? Everybody get it? All right, so you're going to pick up one of those. You can go ahead and hold the one in your hand. That's fine. All right? And somebody grab pictures, because I'm up here the whole night. This is too fun not to grab pictures of. Okay. All right, so when that clock hits, you'll be able to start. Again, trying to hook the candy canes, put them into the bowl. Hit my timer for me.
Game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Max Fisher is the winner. Good job, Max. All right, awesome. So Abby, Max, I got to remember, I owe you a prize, okay? You want the candy canes? Well, you grab candy cane. She didn't put her mouth on. Did you? Okay, she still got the one in her mouth. We're good. Okay. What's up? Sure, take it. All right, our next game is called Do You Hear What I Hear? If you would like to play this, come on up here. All right, I got 2 seniors again. Seniors are owning the night. All right, seniors are owning the night. Meryl's coming up for the final box. Okay, so you have 5 boxes to your furthest left. What's up? I said, hey, Emma, did I see Meryl? Okay, sisters, I'm just kidding. All right, so, all right, this is how this game works. Inside of each of those boxes is a certain number of jingle bells, okay? Your task, put the box down, put the box down, put the box down. Put it down, put it down. Your task in this next minute is to arrange the boxes from, on your left, everybody hold up your left hand so I know you know what your left hand is, from least to greatest, or does it say greatest to least?
Well, they are
Least to greatest, okay? Right? Am I reading it right?
No.
Least to greatest, okay. All right, from left to right, you're going to shake the box to figure out how many are in there. Do you hear what I hear? And you're going to figure out which boxes have more bells than the next, and arrange them from least to greatest, okay? And you're going to have all this epic music playing behind you. Hit the clock!
The game begins in 3, 2, 1.
Figure it out. Okay, all right, so, all right, what is the correct order of the boxes?
The first one should be number 4. The next one should be number 3.
Okay. Oh, they only have one box difference. Okay, this is, all right, this is a moment of truth. Emma has 43521. Shane has 43512. And the winner is
Number 1.
Shane, 43512. Okay, so I owe Shane a prize too. Good job. Thank you for participating in our one night games, our Christmas games. I was so excited just to watch that, honestly. I really was. No, you get to talk with me about your shirt now. She chose her shirt very specifically. Okay, so because we're here for one night, and every single one night we try and focus in, right? That's the idea. And Heather, when I called you up and I said, look, we're focusing in on one word. We're actually focusing on a couple of words, but one of the important words, what was that word?
Believe.
Believe. So what's your shirt?
Says believer.
She was so excited. She's like, look, I'm thematic. I love it. Yeah, it was very exciting. Our theme verse for tonight comes from John chapter 20, verse 29, and this is what it says. The suspense is killing me. It's from John 20:29. Blessed are those who have not seen and have believed, right? So that's what we get to kind of digest today, or tonight. We're talking about what does it truly mean for us to believe in something? What does it mean for us to see something? What is it that you want to see? And what is it then that we need to all do together, right? So this is the night that we have in front of us. I'm so excited for us. I'm also excited because this band sounds awesome. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to invite you guys to please stand up. And if you will, the band will come on up. We'll dim some lights down to get ready for music time. And we'll keep moving through our one night before Christmas.
storm has moved for good, for the land had conquered death, and the dead rose from their tomb, and the angels floating on, for the souls of all who come to the Father are restored, and the church of Christ was born, then the Spirit lit the flame, now this gospel truth from earth shall not kneel, shall not fade, by His blood and in His name, in His freedom I am free, for the love of Jesus Christ, who has resurrected me. Praise the Father, praise the Son, praise the Spirit, three in one. God of glory, majesty, praise forever to the King of Kings. Praise forever to the King of ocean cease, and be thyself a king of peace. Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
Is there something I can do for you?
I'm looking for a girl.
Hey, we all!
I have her ticket.
Hey, looky here. Well, this is an official, authentic, genuine ticket to ride. Oh, you better keep this in a safe place, young man. If I was you, I'd keep all my valuables right here in the old size 13. Experience shows this is the safest place. Not that I have much use for those tickets. I ride for free. Oh, yeah. I hop aboard this rattler anytime I feels like it. I own this train. Oh, yeah. It's like I'm the king of this train. Yeah, the king of the Polex. In fact, I am the king of the North Pole! Now, where's my man? Sit. Take a load off it. Hey, would you like some Joe? Nice, hot refreshment, perfect for a cold winter's night. Bless you.
What about Santa?
Santa.
Isn't he the king of the North Pole?
You mean this guy? What exactly is your persuasion on the big man, since you brought him up?
Well, I want to believe. But
You don't want to be bamboozled. You don't want to be led down the primrose path. You don't want to be caught or duped. Have the wool pulled over your eyes. Hoodwinked. You don't want to be taken for a ride. Railroaded! Seeing is believing. Am I right?
All right. So we have our first speaker for tonight, Mr. Justin Schaefer, who I adore, and I'm so excited that I got to see you tonight, bud. You what? Oh, chair. Yeah, chair. All right.
What's up, everybody? what's up? So for those who don't know me, my name is Justin Schaefer. I am a junior at Texas A&M. Whoop is right. When I heard the verse for tonight, John 20:29, I was really trying to reflect on my own life on when I really saw this verse playing in. And like, honestly, I've been very thankful and blessed that my entire life I've been raised to know God and to believe in him. But when reflecting on it, two things were made very obvious to me. One is that I, in my life, have not believed that Christ is enough for me. And two, that I did not believe that Christ was worthy of following. And I think a part of my life that very evidently shows that is when I was going into college. And going in fall of my freshman year, I went to this retreat at A&M called Impact, and basically what Impact is it's designed to help incoming students get plugged into a local church. And at this retreat, I experienced the gospel and I experienced Christ in a way that I had never before. And I made a decision that day that I was going to follow Christ and that Christ was worthy of my time, of my effort, of my motivation going into college. And I wish it worked out that way. I wish that is exactly what I did, but that is not. That is not what happened. When I got to college, I surrounded myself with people that were not pursuing the Lord and did not have a relationship with him, and therefore what came alongside that is a life that was strictly just desiring partying, desiring girls, and just about anything that wasn't Christ. You know, I was looking for satisfaction in just about everything except for Christ. And what I needed a wake-up call, and sure enough, that came. And it came in the form of me falling one night at a party and cracking my head open. And what came in those days after that was an understanding in myself that not only was the life I living physically harming me, but it was hurting my relationship with the Lord. It was making me go after things of this world that weren't Christ. And thankfully, in that time, the Lord surrounded me with a community of people that really love me and really care about me. And what they made me see is not only my sin, and they held me accountable for it. And something that I came to know during that time is that nothing can satisfy you more than a relationship with the Lord. And that knowing him and believing in him is worth following. And so I like to think of this as I like to think in my own head as an example of if you had a math problem, say the math problem was 2 plus 2, and someone comes up to you and shows you the math and says that it's 4, you would believe that, I would hope, maybe. But you would believe that 4 is the answer. And so therefore, if anyone came to you and tried to contradict the truth that you believe for yourself, that 4 is the answer, you would oppose it. You wouldn't give it the time of day because you know it's fake. You know it's false. You know it's something that does not satisfy the answer that 2 plus 2 is 4. And I think it's very similar in our relationship with the Lord. You know, God has shown us his love. He has showed us that in his Son. His Son who he sent to the earth, fully God, fully man, to live the perfect life that we couldn't, die the death that we deserved to die, and rose again, defeating sin, death, and the devil. Like, he has shown us that. And so therefore, we should follow him. And therefore, because of the understanding of God is perfect and God is holy, then we should flee the opposition of God. And the opposition, the thing that opposes perfection is imperfection, and how imperfection comes is sin. And so, therefore, we should live a life in which we run away from that. And knowing God and believing him in him should radically change the way we live. And so that's an understanding that, you know, I've had to come to grips with, and still, I sit before you like a very broken and sinful man, not one that is of perfection by any means, but one that is continuously looking to Christ for motivation and for forgiveness daily. And so I tell you this stuff so that, one, if you don't believe in Christ as your personal Savior, I pray that you would wrestle with that in these coming days, in these coming months, in this next year, and that you would come to know an understanding of belief for yourself, because like the verse says is blessed are those who have not seen but believe. You know, God has revealed all that he needs to us. He's shown us his love. And then second, if you do believe that for yourself, I pray that you would look at Christ and you would say that Christ is worthy of following, because he is, because he has done something that no one else did, and that was overcome death and set us free from the sin in our life. So yeah, that's all I got. Thank you.
How many of you have rang the bell after watching that movie? Anybody ever did that as a kid? None of you had a childhood? Okay, good. Some of you had a childhood? Good, good, good. All right. Or read the book. Who read the book? Good. Literacy's not dead. This is good. Literacy's good. Being able to read is a good thing. Well, and you can see that theme of believing coming through. And everybody, I know everybody in this room loves this next one who's about to come up and talk to us. And she's wearing the shirt, Believer, to help us remember what it means to be a believer and to show us what that means. Would you guys give a big, warm welcome to Miss Heather Vogel?
Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Oh, that's not. Is it working? Oh, okay. All right. So my believer and believing story has to kind of do with believing in the power of prayer, and believing like in yourself and God's what God's placing in front of you, believing that what He is giving you, you are good enough for. So my story is basically whenever I had kids, and then I knew my husband. I stayed home with my two kids, Sienna and Colin, for like 4 years, and then we decided that whenever they go to school, I will go back to work. So I wrote down a prayer list that I prayed over every night, and that basically stated, that when I go back to work, I want it to be purposeful. I want it to, I want to serve. I want it to glorify God. I want a really good schedule so that I can see my kids all the time. So, there was selfish stuff in there too. But I prayed over this and, just trying to have God speak to me in my figuring out, what was the next step in my life. But I wanted it to, be good enough for our family at the time, and I really wanted to, at the end of the day, feel like I was doing something for God and something good. So I prayed over this, and then my friend Kim Odinga, who used to be my neighbor, the kids were playing outside, and she's like, "Hey, there's a job opening up at Concordia for an art teacher, and it's part-time, so you can just kind of like start, a little bit." And I was like, ooh, like me was teaching high school. I just couldn't picture it. I was like, girl, I'll make you look bad. You don't want to, you do not want to, tell them to hire me. And she's like, no, you'll be great. So, of course, my friends and everybody were like, no, you should. Even my dad, he's like, you should definitely do it. Well, I didn't, because I totally didn't believe that I would be good enough for it. And like a week and a half went by, and then I finally called up there. I was like, okay, I got the nerve to call up there, and they had just filled the position. So I was like, okay, that's good. That's it. Okay, I'm good. Whew. Okay, so then the very following year, the very next year, the lady that they hired, she didn't stay with Concordia. So Kim again is like, hey, Vogel, their job came available again, and you need to come work for us. Like, you need to come, teach art and coach volleyball and all this. And I was like, girl, I just don't picture myself being good at that. And here I am, telling myself that this isn't what I can picture myself doing, but it literally was everything I had prayed for. Like, God was handing it to me. This is the second time He was actually placing it right in front of me, saying, I'm giving you exactly what you asked for. Like, you've been praying for this, and why can't you see that this is what where I want you to be? And it took literally my friends and my family to push me to give Mr. Barr at the time was the principal my resume. And even when I emailed him my resume, I even said, I don't know if I'm a good fit or if I'm good enough for you guys, but I would love to just meet with you and see if it works out. Well, of course I met with him and everything, and it was a perfect fit. And he hired me literally a week before school started. And I was terrified, but like every time I went to the meetings, I kept thinking, oh my gosh, like it finally, hit me. Okay, God, thank you. You did, like he totally answered my prayer, but I was just too dodo-y to figure out or to realize that he was just handing it straight to me. And then I called my dad and I was like, not only did he answer my prayer, but like he's just like raining all these blessings upon me with this job. Like I love it so much, and I'm going to start getting emotional. But like, teaching the you kids is, it's a huge joy. You want to love your job, right? And I love my job. Like it's the best job in the world, even being here tonight with you guys. Like when I started seeing all my old students, I'm like, oh crap. Like it made me nervous. Normally I'm just like, oh, I can talk to in front of anybody, but no, I was like, oh God, I hope I do good, but I guess my point is that, don't be afraid to be specific, when you pray. Obviously God knows what's on your heart, but also remind yourself to keep your eyes open for him answering those prayers, and to also keep your heart open to believing in yourself and believing that, God, you are good enough for the gifts that God is going to bless you with, okay? And that everybody in this room, it has a purpose that God has planned for you. And, make sure that you keep your heart open and that you love yourself enough to feel good enough for those blessings that God gives you on a daily basis. That's it.
Extra chocolate. Shaken, not stirred. You look distressed.
Distressed? I'm way past distressed.
Why's that?
I'm talking to an elf. And I stopped believing in Santa Claus a long time ago.
That's not surprising. Most grown-ups can't believe in magic. It just sort of grows out of them.
Look, you're a nice little elf.
Thanks.
But this is a dream. I mean, this is fabulous. Is that a polar bear directing traffic down there? I see it, but I don't believe it.
You're missing the point.
What is the point?
Seeing isn't believing. Believing is seeing. Kids don't have to see this place to know that it's here. They just know. Well,
I have my mic. Yeah, that's the clip. Little fun fact for you tonight. The Santa Claus is Pastor Lee's favorite Christmas movie. Absolutely enjoy it. Came out when I was a kid. I know even my sister has graduated from it. We still watch it every single Christmas together. She's graduated from it over to Elf, which I know is very much appreciated in the room tonight. But yeah, and it was actually this scene actually was one of the ones that even as a little kid started to make me think. I mean, really made me try and think about life and really what it meant to believe it or not, even as a little elementary school kid. And this line of seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing, right? And I love the whole exchange. I mean, granted, I could give it a little background to it, right? You got Tim Allen, and Tim Allen, the other famous role he has is, of course, nobody? Yeah, Home Improvement's good, and then my dad loved Home Improvement growing up. The other, like the thing I will cherish for him most. He wasn't live action in it. Toy Story! Yeah! That was my favorite one as a little kid. Woody, man. Or sorry, Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, Buzz Lightyear. You had Woody with Tom Hanks. Come on, y'all. You got to get, that's one of his best things he ever did for this world, right? Toy Story, right? But no, so between Toy Story and the Santa Claus, Tim Allen, man, he's got my childhood wrapped in a little box, right? I love it. But I love it for this verse, this challenging thing, right? Of course, the way that this movie goes is that Scott Calvin, they got fun with the letters, S-C. I think even as a little kid, that little stuff was like knitting its way into my brain, all right, being creative like that. Scott Calvin wakes up one night, hears Santa Claus on the roof, falls off, Santa Claus falls off, Scott doesn't fall off, and he eventually has to take on the suit and become Santa Claus because of the Santa Claus. I think this is where my love of puns began too, right? But then you have this challenging part here where he finally makes it to the North Pole, and it's challenging. I love the little line as you're going, is that a polar bear directing traffic? It's one of my favorite parts. And I think some of you in the room even were on a confirmation retreat where I talked about this even, right? This little fun piece. But this idea of seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing. And then growing up, of course, in the church, you start to hear that passage from Easter, actually, where you get to hear this. And so actually I want to kind of dive into that and hold it in hand, both of these two concepts for us, believing and seeing there in John 20, verses 24 to 29. Set the stage for this one, too. And if you haven't seen a Santa Claus, it breaks my heart that you have not been a part of that joy yet. But figure it out, okay? Figure it out. Setting the scene for John 20. Jesus, spoiler alert, he died on the cross. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, but he did. And for his followers, this was a very, very sad thing. Because he was the one that was going to overtake Rome. He was going to be the Messiah that they longed for. There was going to be the big ruler, was going to overthrow the government. That was the goal behind it. And lo and behold, he died. They killed him. They hung him onto a cross. Now here's the thing. Jesus had told them about this the whole way through, but they still didn't really get it. So to their surprise, again, spoiler alert, it's so exciting, 3 days later, he rose. He rose from the grave, and he came and he visited some of his disciples. Now, when he did that, there was one of them who wasn't there, and his name was Thomas. Thomas gets a bad rep. I think a very unfair rep, because you look a little bit earlier in John, especially when you get the raising of Lazarus, Thomas is one of the most faithful disciples. So it's really interesting, this turn here. And I guess maybe John, as he's writing this, is like, I'm going to pick on Thomas. Let's give him a nickname for the rest of eternity, right? Doubting Thomas. Thomas wasn't there. And so Thomas gets to see the disciples, and he says, you know what? The disciples are all excited. They're thrilled. And Thomas thinks they're playing a prank on him. And he's actually probably pretty mad. I would imagine in this situation, if I were Thomas, I would be furious. Why would this be funny? Why would you try and trick me like this? Why would you do this? Right? And then you have this scene in verses 24 to 29 that come a week later when Jesus comes to prove it himself. Because Thomas is very, very firm in this fact. I have to see it, right? Even when he's confronted with it, he says this. So verse 24, but Thomas, called Didymus, one of the 12, was not with them when Jesus came. So the other disciples were telling him, we've seen the Lord. But he said to them, if I don't see the mark of the nails in his hands, put my finger into the mark, or put my hand into his side, I will never believe. If I don't see it, I'm not going to believe it. A week later, his disciples were indoors again, and Thomas was with them. And even though the doors were locked, Jesus came and stood among them and said, peace be with you. That's a sermon for another time. The first thing Jesus says to his disciples every time, peace be with you. Then he said to Thomas, put your finger here and look at my hands. Reach out your hand and put it into my side. Don't be faithless, but believe. And Thomas responded, my Lord and my God. And Jesus said, our theme verse for tonight, because you have seen me, you have believed. Blessed are those who have not seen and yet believe. I think these verses sink into me around Christmas time because there is so much conversation about believing, right? I feel like every single Christmas movie, I could have kept going, right? Miracle on 34th Street. You even got Elf, right? And the singing loud to hear. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear, to make it. I think there's another part where you have to believe in order for, I don't know, maybe that's Peter Pan, the fairies to come alive, something like that. But belief powers a lot of stuff in Christmas movies, right? And here, this Christmas movie challenged me to think about this moment, and really and truly what this moment even does for me, even reviewing it in seminary, talking about it with buddies of mine, was this question then. Because the words Jesus uses, he says, don't be faithless, but believe. Tonight I want to ask you some questions. I love questions, and I think it's because as you study the Gospels, you learn that Jesus absolutely loved questions, because I think questions make us think more than answers do. Anybody with me? Questions make us think more than answers do. So my first question for you, when it comes to all of this with Christmas and with John 20, what does it mean to see? If this is true, right? If what Judy the Elf tells us is true, If what Jesus tells us is true, what does it mean to truly see? And then I think there's a similar question that can be asked with this too. What does it ultimately then mean to believe? I want you to think about your answer, because I'll give you one concrete answer. I'm going to give you thoughts other than that. They're not going to be answers, they're going to be thoughts, okay? So think of your answer to that. What is your answer? What does it mean to see? What does it mean to believe? Hold on to it. Here's a thought. Thought is connected to some of what Jesus says. It means to have faith. Okay, great, Pastor Lee. That was just as ambiguous as believe and see. I think it has something to do, a thought maybe, to do with the word confidence. Right? You just heard two speakers that kind of talked about that confidence, right? And we'll get to recap that a little bit at the end of the night. To believe in something is to be confident that it is true, that it is a reality for my life or for your life. And then another word I'd offer to you as a thought is that connected to this idea of belief, connected to this idea of seeing, would also be this word trust. To truly be able to hold tightly enough to something, to trust it, to have confidence in it. It goes hand in hand. But here's the thing that I find a lot of times when I start talking to people. Because most of us are like Thomas, because most of us are like Scott Calvin, we got to see it before we're going to believe it. We got to experience it. We got to feel it. Right? Jesus, as he's going through his ministry, the same thing happens to him. People start coming out of the woodwork because he's performing miracles. And finally, Jesus gets to a town and says, you know what? You're only coming here because I fed you yesterday. I'm not doing any miracles today because that's not the point. The point, the whole entire way through Jesus' ministry, and you see this as you read through the book of John, is about belief. Why? Why would it be about belief? Because all who believe in him will not perish, but have eternal life. So this belief thing is important for us. But here's the temptation for us. Because we go throughout this life and there's so much that we can't see because we're limited. There's so much that we're not able to see and feel with our hands. So the only thing we come to trust and believe in is ourselves. A lot of times. Here's a question for you. It's not going to be another question on the screen, but here's a question for you once again. How's that going for you? How's that journey of going through life and only believing and only trusting in yourself going? When I think about seasons of my life where that was kind of how it was, I'm reminded of how it felt. It felt lonely. It felt like I was always defensive. It felt like I was always ready to pick a fight. It felt like no one around me truly understood anything about the world. It was nasty, right? So here's ultimately the question for us as we come through all this, right? Our thought that I would put in front of you. It's a lot of times why we want to only trust and believe in what we have to say. We only want to put that confidence in ourselves is because we're not seeing something that we want to see. And here's a thought for you. What if there's plenty around for us to see? We just don't have our eyes open. Which is going to lead to my next question. When will what you need to see be enough? I'm reminded of this, I continue, especially in this pandemic. I've talked to a lot of people about this. And there's a lot of times where something happens and they come to this moment and they start counting their blessings and they start realizing how truly blessed they still are in light of what they're seeing other people in their lives go through. Right? How many people in here have had an experience like that? When you see what someone else is going through, what else has been laid on their lap, you see that and you realize, God, I am sorry, I am completely blessed. So how much is enough? How much do you need to see about the blessings in your life for it to finally you be able to believe it's enough to truly place your confidence into this? Another question for you. And this is the biggest question. This is the ultimate question for the night. The big question of the night. Give it to me, Micah. Are you waiting to see? Or are you ready to? When it comes to belief, I really think that's the heart of it. Are you waiting? Waiting until there's enough stuff. Waiting until there's enough people giving witness to what God has done in their life. Waiting to see how God transforms brokenness. Waiting for there to be enough of that. Are you ready? Are you walking out into this world going, God, show me again. God, keep going. This is incredible. Ultimately, when it looks at your life, that's kind of the thing you got to ask yourself, right? Because I've heard from some people that have lost absolutely everything, and it is incredible to see that they are still ready. They're ready to go because they can still look at their lives and see that it's blessed and there's a reason for that. But I got another question before we get to that reason, right? Here's another question for you. What are you looking for? What are you looking to see? Is it grace? Are you looking for forgiveness? Are you looking for peace because life's a little crazy right now? Are you looking for joy because it's until you heard our Christmas jokes to start the night, you didn't laugh for a while? I hope you laughed. Those were funny. Some of those were very punny and funny. Are you looking for comfort? Are you looking for hope? A reason to have confidence? Are you looking for this faith that we're talking about? Are you looking for love? Is there an absence of love in your life right now, and it's making it hard to really be able to find it? Guys, let me tell you, there's somewhere to find every little bit of that. His name's Jesus. It's in him, and it's in the community that he brings us into, the people that he surrounds us with, that he continually is reminded. If you start reading this book, that's what you come to find out. There's somebody that I don't have to trust in myself. I don't have to put it all in my hands. I don't have to believe only in the number one I, right? Because there's someone else who has it all together and who has been consistent throughout centuries and who has something to say to me. And a reality that we get to celebrate here at Christmas. And this is that reality. The greatest thing that we get to see at this time of the year is God with us. Y'all, have you ever taken into account the miracle that is Christmas? The infinite taking on the finite. The promised Messiah, the long-awaited Messiah from the very beginning of creation, finally taking on flesh and blood to do what he said he would accomplish. And what was that? We got to talk about it last time. To take you out of death and into life. Not because you deserved it, not because you were God's favorite and you've been acting the best, but because he loves you and wants to spend an eternity with you. And he's been telling us this for centuries now, since the beginning of time. That's the incredible thing that we get to see this season. And the question for you as we kind of move through this time and this season of Christmas, what does it mean for me to see? What does it mean for me to believe? I want to see. I want to believe this, right? Then go to his word where he creates faith. Talk to a friend. Talk to a friend about Jesus. I know that sounds so lame in 2020, but man, does it give you life when you get to do that. To truly hear God's truth for your life rather than the truth of the world for your life. To hear God's truth for your life rather than your truth for your life. What's it going to take for you this season to truly see that you already have everything you could possibly want in this world in Jesus? What's it going to take for you to see, to believe, to hold tightly, to trust and have confidence in the reality that as long as you have Jesus, you truly have everything? I truly believe that is going to be said, able to be said for each and every one of us, no matter what comes our way in this life. I've certainly experienced that. No matter how much craziness, no matter how much death that we got to talk about at our last one night, no matter how many troubles and questions and isolation and lies you hear, no matter any of it, I find that I have absolutely everything in Jesus. What's it going to take for you to see that this season? To truly be able to have that confidence and believe in him. We're going to transition, as we like to do at one night, into prayer time. And in prayer time, every single time we like to because the world does not give us time to pause. It doesn't. It doesn't give us a time to really pause. Prayer time, our first one night this year, we talked about how prayer time is simply this, talking to God. You have an opportunity right now to zone out all the distractions of this world and everything else and just have a listening ear with the big guy. Thinking about, what does it mean to believe? What does it mean to see, especially the reality that he is with you even in this moment? What do you want to say to him? What do you want to hear from him? That's what this next moment is about. We're going to play some music for you, and I want you to think about that reality of God being with you, and I want you to really pray about whether or not you're seeing that, whether or not you're believing and having confidence and trusting that great and grand reality, and then we're going to have the band up here, and we're going to sing a song about that reality for us, all right? So we're going to play some kind of low-key music. We're going to dim the lights down a little bit, or maybe I'll just step off the stage. It's really bright for me. I guess it's not bright for you. And then we're going to step into a time of prayer for you. Go ahead. Heavenly Father, we just thank you so much for this night that you've given to us to be able to be reminded of your presence with us. That even though you are eternal and almighty, Lord, you have taken on flesh to reside with us. Lord, I thank you so much that you are truly before and behind us and all around us in each and every situation that comes our way, Lord. Because without you, we couldn't be making it through this life. So, Lord, we simply ask that you would continue to be with us, that you would continue to give us courage, that you would continue to give us hope, even in the midst, Lord, of all the craziness of our lives. And, Lord, especially give us the courage to see, to truly open our eyes and look to those around us, to be able to find in them brothers and sisters whom you have placed in our lives, to strengthen that belief that you have given to us. Lord, help us to see the gifts that you have given to us in your word, Lord, in the promise, the concrete promise that you have given to us each in our baptisms. Lord, go with us from this place and help us to be able to sing to the world of all of the things that you have done for us and the fact, Lord, that you are truly with us even here in this place. Lord, help everything that we do, everything that we say, and everything that we think to be to your glory. All this, Lord, I lift up to you in the name of Jesus, and all God's children said, amen. I'm going to invite you to stand on up, and we're going to go into song time. Stretch yourself out, and we're going to sing about that promise that we have. Band here is going to get ready for us, and we'll get going. We're going to be rocking this one. You're going to be rocking this one. So you guys sing it out. Sing it out. This is good stuff, right? Singing this song about God being with you. This is great. We're getting set up. Promise that God has come down. Heaven has come down to each and every one of you tonight. That's the promise that we have. It's a promise we get to sing about. All things bright, beautiful you are. All things wise and wonderful you are. In my darkest night, you brighten up the skies. A song will rise. I will sing a song of hope, sing along. God of heaven, come down, just to know that you are near is enough. God of heaven, come down, yeah. All things new, I can start again. Creator God, calling me your friend. Sing praise my soul to the maker of the skies. A song will rise. I will sing a song of hope, sing along. God of heaven, come down, just to know that you are near is enough. God of heaven, come down, oh, sing a song of hope, sing along. God of heaven, come down, just to know you and your love is enough. God of heaven, come down, yeah. Hallelujah, sing. the song of hope, sing along. God of heaven, come down, heaven, come down. Just to know that you are near is enough. God of heaven, come down, heaven, come down. Oh, we'll sing a song of hope, sing along. God of heaven, come down, heaven, come down. Just to know that you are near is enough. God of heaven, come down, heaven, come down. Oh, we'll sing a song of hope, sing along. God of heaven, come down, heaven, come down. Just to know you and be loved is enough. God of heaven, come down, heaven, come down, yeah. Woo! All right, Miss Heather Vogel, come on up here. Sam and Kate are going to stay with me because we're going to close with a song. You guys can have a seat. We're going to recap a little bit. How did you guys enjoy one night? Yeah. Is it better than COVID? Yeah! Woo! That's kind of like the story of my year, right? Is it better than COVID? That's a question I ask myself. So Oreos make the difference every day. It's better than COVID, right? All right. Oreos. They do. The mega stuff, not the regular one. Now, like, regular ones don't even add up, you know? But then the mega, have you seen sorry, I'm getting distracted. Have you seen the serving size for mega stuffed Oreos? No? Am I the only one that looks at the serving size? Okay. It's like 3. Who are they kidding themselves? Heather, how was your first one night? Good. How are you feeling? Good. I am so thrilled that we got to hear from you tonight about what it means to believe in God's plan for me, even when I don't believe in it for myself. Because I think so many times, I think our students can kind of relate to that, and that feeling that I'm not good enough, the lies, you know, and things like that. And we are all blessed because God kept pushing his plan into your life, saying, Heather, see what I'm putting in front of you. How about Justin's talk? What did you remember about Justin's talk?
I loved how he used the analogy 2 + 2 = 4. I
Totally.
mean, that is true. And it just kind of showed us, you know, how he was saying, you know, God is true, you know, and his plan is true. So often we all start, you know, creating our own beliefs and getting on our own head instead of, you know, turning back to God.
Exactly.
Because he is the one true thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I love what Justin had to say then about, are you seeing clearly, right, the truth of God, and are you letting that, believing it, living it out, and letting that truly affect your life? I really appreciated that too. And I hope you guys took away too from our verse with John 20:29. Maybe you're going to think more about the Santa Claus, which wouldn't be a bad thing, you know. Is that a polar bear directing traffic? That really is like one of my favorite lines of the whole movie. But I hope you truly do see that reality for your life too. That are you trusting in God's plan? Are you trusting in this reality? He is the truth, because that's when you get to see it, and it becomes a really cool thing. Everybody give my co-host a hand. Thank you so much for joining us. And then I'm going to bring Sammy and Katie back to us, and I'm going to bring Mr. Brian Rommel up, and I'm going to invite you guys to stand up. We're going to close. It's actually an a cappella song. So we're gonna sing together a cappella, maybe, if we have the music. Maybe we don't have the music. Did I move it? I bet I did it. Nope, I didn't do it. Oh, you got it right there? All right, sweet. All right, so this is Come Thou Long Expected Jesus. I feel this is a fun way, a good Christmas one, reminding us of what we're doing too. You good? You got it?
Yeah, I think we're
You got my words for me? Let's start us off. Since there's no introduction, it's just a cappella.
We're just going to let Sammy kick it off.
Or here, yeah. Oh, that's right. You're doing harmony. So here we go. I was like, they're like, are you doing melody or harmony? I was like, I don't know how to do the harmony. They're like, good, do the melody. Come thou long expected Jesus, born to set thy people free from our fears and sins. Release us, let us find our rest in thee. Israel's strength and consolation, hope of all the earth thou art, dear desire of every nation, joy of every longing heart. Come thou long expected Jesus, born to set thy people free. From our fears and sins release us, let us find our rest in thee. Israel's strength and consolation, hope of all the earth thou art, dear desire of every nation, joy of every longing heart. Born thy people to deliver, born a child and yet a king, born to reign in us forever. Now thy gracious kingdom bring. By thine own eternal Spirit, rule in all our hearts alone. By thine all-sufficient merit, raise us to thy glorious throne. By thine all-sufficient merit, raise us to thy glorious throne. Lord bless and keep you always in his care. The Lord look upon you with favor and give to you his peace. And the Lord bless you as you go out into this world to share that joy with this world. Thank you guys for coming to one night. It was great to be here with you. Awesome.